Alright you lot, good afternoon. Hope you're all fine and just dandy, just like you should be. Now the last time I ran this ThunderTiger MTA4, it was running absolutely minty perfect. I had it running, in my opinion, good. Not to some of your standards, because I know it's a touchy subject, but I don't care. It was running well. I put the shell on it and then it started to run really rich. Now, it's quite common with a Nitro engine that the needles on the carburetor, what happens is there's little rubber O-rings in there where the screw goes in, where the needle goes in, and that's the resistance is that needle. Also a seal as well, obviously, but the rubber O-ring or rubber washer, whatever you want to call it, it applies the resistance to stop the screw from coming out or going in by itself. Now they're very easy to turn on the low speed on that carburetor. The high speed was alright, but the tick over was very easy, it kept moving by itself, and the low speed kept moving by itself. And it was on the low end where it was going rich. So it's common that they work their way out, which is rich. But I've got a plan A and a plan B. I'd forgotten, but I'd realised since that I have got one of those, what are they? S28s or whatever they are, engines right there with a carburetor on it. So plan A is to take the carburetor off of that and put it on this engine. Plan B is to replace the O-rings in the old carburetor if plan A doesn't work, because if them O-rings are bad as well. The only way we're going to find out is by doing it. That's the only way we're going to find out, is by actually going and doing it. So this is that engine. This actual block with the piston, did it have a sleeve? Can't remember. I think it had a sleeve. Didn't have a head, didn't have a button, didn't have a carburetor, didn't have a pole start. Just a block with a crankshaft, piston and sleeve, obviously a conrod. Well, it come to me from a subscriber when I bought, good old Alex it was, I think it was, when I bought a car from him. He also sent me the engine. So then I got hold of the head, a button, a carburetor and this pole start, which I definitely don't recommend because they're meant to be unbreakable, but they, as you can see, they're not unbreakable at all. They do break. And I got it running. It ran really well on the bench. Now let's get this pole start unwound. Maybe I'll try and fix this pole start one day, but these are expensive and they're supposed to be unbreakable, and they most certainly are not. So that needle doesn't feel too bad. Let's get a driver for the screwing and see if the low speed, oh yes, that's a lot better. I know you can't feel it, but maybe you can get some kind of gauge by the look. That's easy to turn. Sorry, that's not easy to turn. So I reckon we might be good enough to just switch the carburetors over, and you know, maybe we'll get away with that. And then what I'll do at a later date, instead of using the O-rings that I've got, which aren't really, they kind of are, but they're not really meant for Nitro, so they're not really gonna withstand Nitro. They might perish ever so slightly, and some of you lot took great pleasure in pointing that out to me previously. I'm fully aware of it, but what I might end up doing is simply getting the correct O-rings and rebuilding this carburetor so it's properly rebuilt, and then putting it back on again. That's probably what I'll do. So let's undo this little screw. This little screw holds the carb on. I wonder if I'll have to take it all the way out. Some of them you do, some of them you don't. Well, that's definitely, that's well in there, that is. That's well in there, man. Let's take this all the way out just to make sure, because sometimes the little screws, they do go through a little groove and that's how they're held in. So we've got to take that all the way out. That's threaded all the way through, that is. So if this won't, no, that won't budge. So let's see what we've got. We could use a pair of pliers, or I might be able to get a spanger on there and I think that's probably going to be the best one to get on there. You can get a spanner on there, but you have got to be careful. Yeah, sometimes you can get a spanner on here. Other times you have to use a pair of pliers. But this is an adjustable spanner, so I might be able to get away with it. All I've got to do is just twist it enough, because what it is, that's it, it's twisted now. It's because it's probably never come off. It's probably been on there for over 20 years. It's probably never ever come off. So, you know, it's just stuck on there. A pair of pliers or a spanner will do the trick. That's it. Now I've got it moving, hopefully I can lever it up. Let me get a better screwdriver. What have we got for screwdrivers? Drivers of the screw, come here now. Thank you all. Here we go. That looks like a nice one. Might be able to lever it. If I can find something to lever it up against. Not a lot to lever against here, really. Might need to resort to pliers after all. But try these pliers. These are a nice pair of pliers. Recently found them, so I thought I'd implement them ones. Now, that's putting up a bit of a fight, that is. Have got to be careful not to snap off the needle, because you can easily do that. Snap it off, you don't want to be doing that. That's it. I was gonna put some penetrating fluid on there then, but I decided not to. I might still put a bit of penetrating fluid on there, to be honest. Let's get a bit, shall we? A little bit of what we've got here, PB Blaster. Stick a little bit of that around there, and that will just loosen it up a bit, because it's obviously a little bit stuck on there. Ah dear. Let that do its thing. Wiggle it round a bit. Oh yeah, it's getting easier now. That's good stuff. Nice bit of penetrating fluid. That's starting to come out. Sometimes when they get a bit stuck, they just need a little bit of persuasion. And get the screwdriver under there now. Pry it up a little bit. Hopefully it will come out. Get the pliers and just nudge it round a bit. Yeah, it's definitely getting easier. In a minute now. There you go, starting to go, starting to go. Starting to go. There it is. Right, so that's what we wanted. Now, these two carburetors, they're quite different. Oops. I don't know if that's because of the age. It's not going to matter. But I don't know if it's because of the age. Maybe this one's older. This one looks quite newer, doesn't it? It's plastic. This one's all metal. I reckon this one's older than this one. Because I bought this one, it's meant to have come from a 28 Pro. Is that a 28 Pro? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's exactly the same engine. Obviously, I reckon this engine is probably older. It's got an older carburetor on it, which is fine. But that leads me to want to rebuild this one even more, because I like the older stuff. Older stuff's better, much better than new stuff. A lot of you lot seem to like new stuff, but I like old stuff. They don't make things like they used to. Some things they make better than they used to, but some things they don't make like they used to. I can tell you that. Now we've got to try and get this one off as well. This one's well and truly stuck it on there. Oh, you bastard. There we go. Right. One carburetor. Ready to go on. Happy days. Couldn't be more happy with that. I've zoomed you in a little bit. I don't know if that'll be any better. I did realise perhaps it was a bit far away earlier, but it's too late now. It's all done, isn't it? So it is what it is now. Now let's see. We'll see if we get this to work. I am going to rebuild this carb because I think it just looks better. It is just generally better. And plus, it's the original carb that come with the engine, so it'd be nice to have them both paired up, wouldn't it? Let's get a little bit of oil, just to annoy some people. We'll have a bit of WD-40. Because don't forget, WD-40 is not an oil. Cocks, aren't you? What a bunch of wind-ups you are. WD-40. Some people believe you, you know. Just going around saying WD-40 is not an oil, you know. Some people do believe you. You've got to be careful what you say to some people. Gullible. It's on there. I think it's a bit too long, but that's alright. That'll probably seal. We'll put that there. And then we'll get the little screw. Screw it together. Now I'm not going to be able to go and test it today, but we will fire her up and see if she'll run any good. Alright, she'll run minty fresh, I reckon. Alright, let's get rid of all these extra tools and stuff we've got lying around that we don't need anymore, and we'll fire her up. While we're here, just to clarify, because I know it's a touchy subject, and I know some of you are on a wind-up saying this stuff, but those of you that are winding people up, you're confusing the other people, right? So look, WD-40, right? Stops squeaks, drives out moisture. Yes, it is a water repellent. Cleans and protects, very good for cleaning by the way. Loosens rusted parts, frees sticky mechanisms. That is an oil, my friends. Look, stops squeaks, penetrates and lubricates hinges, casters, springs, taps, handles, windows, pedals and office chairs. Unbelievable, really? Drives out moisture, drives out water on metal surfaces, e.g. electrical contacts, car ignitions, tools, including garden, motorcycle engines and outboard motors. See? Cleans and protects. WD-40 is a very good cleaner. You spray it on anything and get it all clean stuff. It's mad, and I think it smells nice as well. But it does leave things oily, obviously. But it does clean really well. Loosens rusted parts, as we know. Just put things on that are rusty and it will free it up. And it stops, frees up squeaky mechanisms. It's an oil, my friends. It oils things. It does drive out moisture. Very good at driving out moisture. If you've got a like it says, an ignition system, points, anything like that, coils, spark plugs, all sorts, spray it on it and it'll get rid of all the water. But it is an oil. It does oil stuff. Bloody, you lot winding people up, saying WD-40 is not an oil, you know, in the comments, winding everyone up. People are believing them. People believe you, you know. They do. They just do. Some people are gullible and you don't know it. Right. I might have to adjust that a little bit, but let's put that in there. And put the air filter on later on. Primage, have we got primage? There we go. Right, we've got plenty of primage. Let's fire her up. Right, I've got a couple of different glow starters here. We'll try this one first. Let's see. Wanted to go, didn't she? running like a dream. Throttle, because the servo's not on. Running like an absolute dream now. Right. Well, whether it's going to actually drive any good is to be seen. But we know that it runs. I've got to put the air filter on, I know. But it runs now with that carburetor. So what I'm going to do, mend the other one, put the other one back on it. But for the time being, I'm probably going to give it a run with this carburetor on it. Use it, whatever. And that'll be happy days. Yeah, really, really, really good. I have got to fix that. I did notice that the front axle there, the axle's a bit broken. I don't know whether you can actually see that. But the axle must have hit a curb or something in the past, and that's broken. That you can't see it. That's broken, and that pin in there. The bit of plastic is snapped, so I think I might take it off, glue the plastic, and put it there. Maybe I might better find an upper axle, upper arm. You people all call things different things, don't you, around the world? I might better find one of them. If I can find a new one or a second-hand one somewhere, I'll get that and put it on. And then it's a mint truck then. And the go that I had of it when I took it out, I had a great bit of fun. It was a really nice truck, so it'd be really nice to get this working as it should do. I might even get, just for fun, if I can get hold of one. I know where there's one, and I thought I had one, but I've looked high and low and I can't find it. So maybe I either didn't have one or I've sold it or given it away. I know a friend who's got one, and that's the bigger engine that came on these cars. I can't remember what they were called. Was it an S50 or something like that? I get them mixed up. I'm not very good at remembering the names of things. Anyway, they come with a bigger engine, and they're usually with it in helicopters, as far as I know. Like a helicopter engine, and that's what the other exhaust was for, I think. So, yeah. I might get one of them and put it on it just for fun and see what it's like, because I like helicopter engines. They're fun. They sound nuts. Like I say, I do know a friend who's got one, because he tried to put it in a buggy and it didn't fit. So if he doesn't want it, I'll buy it from him and put it in here, just for fun. But I do want to keep this original, so I will keep this engine on there. Anyway, you lot, thanks for watching. Treat everyone nicely, treat people equally, love life, and we'll have a really good life. Cheerio, you lot, all the best.